Okay, so as long as I haven't forgotten, they'll always be down the recording. Right, who remembers this chart? We actually looked at this last week. Who remembers this chart? Who was on that session?
I don't think I was, mate, was I?
Or was there anyone else on this chart last week? Does anyone remember it? We did the liquidity mapping on GU. KB, were you there?
What day
Uh,
is it, mate? What day
think
is that?
so. I
um,
think so.
I think it was Iron of the Week markup. No, I tell you what it was. It was the Tuesday evening markup. Tuesday evening breakdown.
I thought I was on that, but I'm
I
sure.
think you were, because
Yeah.
I don't know many others that trade GU, so I reckon you were. So anyway, but the analysis was this is where our liquidity sat is down here. Okay. The reason why we were expecting short price action is because we'd taken loads of buy side liquidity. The liquidity that sat above that high is old liquidity, right? If you'd taken a trade, so Danny, if you'd taken a trade here and price had moved down to here, what are you most likely to do to your trade?
What do you mean? Like,
So
what am I gonna?
if you took a position here, let's say you took this position, okay, like that, and your
Yeah,
trade moves all the way down here, what are you most likely to do? What are the two things that you're most likely to do to your trade?
well, one break even,
Yeah,
two take profit off for
exactly,
sure.
right? Okay.
Definitely know your profit targets.
Yeah,
Know where you're gonna take off. Know how much you're
exactly.
gonna take off. Have a plan for it for
Yeah,
sure.
that's it. You're going to be taking liquidity out of the marketplace. Most likely, most of your profit is off. So the liquidity sat up here now has a lot lower value. Okay, a lot lower value. The other thing is most people don't trade like us. Most people trade like really basic concepts: supply and demand, support and resistance, breakout, retest, that sort of thing. So a lot of traders are getting in on breakouts as well. Okay, and the same thing applies. They're going to be taking out lots of their liquidity. Okay, and they're going to move in their trades to break even, which is why you'll often find other liquidity points sat at these break even levels. Okay, what you always want to have a look at is these lows. The lows of areas are where people generally enter because most traders don't trade like us. Most traders trade all those simplified concepts that you see all over fucking YouTube. Okay. So break even levels have become a liquidity point in their own right. And you need to understand that that's why often price comes back up. So the traders that were break even maybe after this push have been taken out by this pullback. Okay, I'm going to go up a time frame just so we can zoom in a little bit. The traders that have gone break even after this push, okay, again get taken out by that liquidity sweep. So the liquidity that was originally sat above this high is very unlikely to be that valuable, which is why price hasn't in this instance needed. Now there's no way to measure this other than the fact of if you have a big fucking move that's taken a good few days, it's very unlikely that the liquidity sat right at the top is going to cause price to retract. Where are you most likely and when are you most likely going to get your external liquidity sweeps? What events are going to give them to you?
News.
Yeah, news. What else? We trade them all the
Like
time.
certain types of news, liquidity.
Not so. No, no, no. So short moves. Okay. Short moves are much more likely to have their highs swept. Okay. So if this is because this is what this is, not only is it fucking massive, well, it's a 251 pip move. It's also taken 3 days to create, which means think of it like you. Imagine you
Oh,
entered.
our liquidity cycle, our
Yeah.
daily and
Exactly.
stuff.
Imagine you had entered here and it moved all the way down here. You're probably going to close all of your position. So when you think about it logically, okay, think about how traders are reacting, because remember, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that dumb money, right? You're looking for those institutional moves. Those institutions are looking for those dumb money decisions. And the dumb money decisions are how you and I traded before you came to Strong Money Forex. Okay. And that's what you got to remember.
That's how I
So
trade for Thursday, mate.
say again.
That's how I was trading
There you
Thursday.
go. There you
I
go.
had dumb money.
So we dropped down and we had a look at the liquidity cycle. So that was still green because no one swept it. This is red because that swept it. This is red because that swept it, but these were green. So this is a really good if you look at the highs and the lows in the marketplace, and we got another one there to be fair, look at your swing highs, look at your swing lows, and just understand where the liquidity is in the marketplace and where the liquidity needs to be taken from, then you can get a really logical understanding of where the market went. Now, imagine, just imagine, and this is, look, I don't trade like this, but I'm sure one of you at some point is going to do this. Imagine you had held this move all the way down to the low that we marked, which was there. Just imagine it for 1 minute. Okay. Imagine you'd held this move all the way down to the low down there. You've got 60R on 2 trades without coming back to retest any kind of break even level. Okay. That's the sort of power you can get into with some of these trades. Now, you know me, I would have been off up there. I'm not fussed about that because I would be entering here and I'll be entering here and I'll be entering here again, probably. Okay. So that's the way I like to trade because I like to be in and out. I don't like holding my trades, excuse me, for 24 hours. Okay. Thursday, Friday for me because I was so and so many confluent factors. I held my trade because I just all of my evidence was showing me that it was the right decision to do. But you know, and I hadn't got to my profit levels yet. That's the other major reason. But for me, for this trade, I would have got to my profit level. So I would have been cool. I would have been cool. I would have been out of it. But that's the sort of power. And the conversation we had on, I think it was Tuesday, was that the likelihood is that the market is going to reach. Remember, when we have these kind of upward, slow trajectory, kind of counter trend movements, the likelihood is that at least 90% of it is going to be refilled if we're in line with momentum. Okay. At least 90%. Because if it's going to reverse, where's it most likely to reverse from? If it's going to go back up on us, where's it most likely to come down to? Someone,
Discount.
someone tell me when.
Yeah, 50%.
Yeah, it could be there.
Out there as well, I'd say.
Yeah. Okay. So these sorts of levels are where you might get a reversal from. That's what causes these kind of reactions, right? Okay. So you've got to understand again where like mass psychology institutions are putting orders into the marketplace. And look, if you've taken that trade, beautiful trade, loads and loads of money to be made in it. Tuesday onwards, beautiful. So we've done up until Tuesday. I'm not going to reanalyze that because we obviously did that last week. Let's talk about the rest of the moves and talk about what we should have been doing on GU. So we're going to have a look at Wednesday first and foremost. Tuesday, if you did miss the Tuesday session, if you haven't gone back and watch it, I have uploaded it, by the way. Let's have a look at what happened on Tuesday. So, look, we had obviously a half decent reaction to that first liquidity point. Okay. We did have a shift. You could have traded any of that. Okay. That would have been absolutely fine. You could have traded any of that. You would have got down to EPA. You wouldn't have got down to the external liquidity. But that's why I always, always, always tell you guys to take profits as soon as you can. 2R is ideal. If you can do 2R 50% of the time, you're making good money as a trader. If you can do 3R, you're making even more. 4R, look, you move into nice territories, but as you can see, you're getting to areas where you might then potentially get reversed on. And that would have probably been a break-even trade if so. Lovely little entry there. You've got your first break and your true break. Do we need a true break?
Not if it's in line with momentum.
Is it in line with momentum?
Yes, because
Yeah,
it bounced
exactly. So where could you have entered?
on the first retest.
On the first retest, yeah, the first MSU here. Where else could you have entered?
I think starting on the liquidity level, or no, wait for your
Nah,
false.
I reckon that's a bit too soon.
Yeah.
You could have done, but it'd be a risky
You
one
could have entered on the TV.
after the TV, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's your second entry. Okay. So two possible entries there. If you'd held out to max profit, 3.5 and 5. So two beautiful trades there on Monday. Okay. GU was actually really, really nice on Monday. We then had another push, more liquidity taken, exactly the same trades, exactly the same setups. Don't need to change anything, exactly the
Hey,
same
it was
setup.
really good on Wednesday as well. I think I just missed it.
It's a bit difficult to get into because of the morning news, but I'll show you now. So
Yeah.
FB, trap, complex reversal, shift, two possible entries down to the SMT, beautiful entries. You then had a TB, multiple entries here, other entries. Look, it's just gold. GU was gold last week. GU never moves like this. It's always the funny one out of the two. Beautiful trades. Could have held them for fucking ages. Even if you got in on the late one. I mean, look, guys, we don't normally get in at the top, but you got two fucking top reversals there. Beautiful. That would be the trade that I would like to take. I'd be all over that. Fucking, you've got like 8R down to there. If you just held through there, do you know what? This is one that if I hadn't had a take profit on, I would have. That was like Jolt. It was like Holt's jobs on Tuesday, wasn't it? And it caused like a massive reaction. It was a 3 p.m. news, and it caused like a massive reaction, which is like really unusual. That's one that if I hadn't had a TP set, I might have even got 3, 4 hour out myself because it just fucking dropped out of the sky. And you could have just held it. Like you could have gone to fucking, you could have moved your stop to here, okay, and just risked because that's still like if I find the market's moving really, really quickly, what I'll often do is I'll move my stop to my take profit level. So if it blows fucking through and comes back to me like there and comes back up like here, then I'm a bit like, well, bothered. I've taken out my original profit, so I'm not really that fussed. But in this example, if I'd been in it, I'd have probably closed it towards the end of the day, admittedly, potential 8, 9R easy out of that trade. And that's if you hadn't held it for the next couple of days. You hold you 20% on. If you keep 20% on that trade and take 80% out, and you hold 20% on, you've got another fucking, I mean, how far do you get on that? 28R? Let's say you'd held through one more day and you'd have had another, I mean, let's say you hit 20% on 28R. Someone else do the maths for me. Anyone got it?
Going to
20,
be another percent or two in it.
5.6, isn't it?
my brain's not working. It's been a long day.
Was it 20% of what? 28? Yeah, so about 5.6.
Yeah, 5.6. Just on a fucking 20% held. Like, this is what I mean. Said this a few times this week. When the sun is fucking shining, go and sell buckets and spades. All right? Go and sell buckets and spades because people are going to fucking buy them, right? If the market's dropping, just fucking keep selling it. Did you try and buy any of this, Dom?
No, mate. So I'm on about this week. If this is this week, I was in sales Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah,
I missed. I got my false break and true break after external take,
yeah,
and then I literally was like, right, I'll fucking put in a lot, and then went to work, mate. And as I went to work, it went fucking where I wanted it to go. As I got back to it, it was gone, mate, just fucking gone. And I was like, oh, that's why I fucked up Thursday and Friday because I was so pissed of the
yeah.
two trades I missed.
Okay.
It is what.
Wednesday was a bit more difficult to get into. Okay, I try and make sure my backtesting sessions are as accurate as possible. So you had a lovely Asia sweep. What does Asia do, guys? What's the two things that Asia does?
Create liquidity.
Yeah, or
Creates liquidity, creates the range.
Takes liquidity.
creates liquidity, or
Takes liquidity.
takes liquidity. Creates liquidity or takes liquidity. Okay. What has Asia done?
Created liquidity.
Created.
Create liquidity, right? So when Frankfurt opens and then London opens and takes the liquidity, we've got a clear indication that we should be dropping. Okay. We then have lower time frame, FB. We can enter on the FB because it's in line with higher time frame momentum. We've then got a TB, and then I don't need to mark it up, but as you can see, multiple TBs all the way down. You could have entered that, you could have entered that, you could have entered that, you could have entered that. Fucking shitloads of opportunities. I wish I'd seen GU last week because beautiful, absolutely fucking beautiful, just plummeting out of the fucking sky. Love it. Trading don't get, I mean, that's just, look at that. Look at those
Hey,
moves.
weekly power of three. That's what I ended up. So it done a perfect weekly. I'm pretty sure it done a perfect weekly cycle of power
Yeah,
of three this week.
yeah.
But that I
Accumulation,
just
manipulation,
fucking missed
distribution.
it, mate.
Literally perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, Thursday was a bit funny. So, one of the traits of Thursday, and bear this in mind, one of the traits of Thursday is Thursday, you don't often get an Asia sweep. What Thursday normally does is think about it from the power of three cycle, right? Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Okay.
I was trying to catch the fucking end of play move, like the end bit of it when I.
The distribution phase was very clearly set on Tuesday and Wednesday. Therefore, when we had the Asia range created, what can anyone tell me about that Asian range or that whole section of price? What can anyone tell me about it? What is significantly different about this section of price compared to this section of price?
Consolidated for ages, and then
Not best reverse, was it?
Asia also took multiple previous. Took a previous month low and other lows as well, which is why I was trying to get the reversal. I'm pretty sure it took a previous. It's either previous week low or previous
Yeah.
month.
Yeah. Problem is with that is that you've got like a lot of candle closure below it, and we want a bit more of a reaction. Monthly levels, remember, they'll take a bit more time to reverse from. So daily levels are the ones where if you had that sort of pattern on a daily level, you could have probably got a setup out of it. But on a week on a what's I'm saying on a monthly level, you're probably going to wait for a bit more, like probably an hourly shift, really. So the fact that we've closed below and broken down, but what's significant about this move compared to that move? Look at the shape of it. And what's this bit
Well,
doing?
one's a redistribution and one's a reaccumulation.
Yeah. What's this bit doing?
Consolidating
Yeah, consolidating and therefore creating what?
liquidity.
Liquidity, yeah? Okay. What's this bit
Liquidity.
doing?
Is it taking liquidity?
Taking liquidity, right? So Asia, therefore, doesn't need any more fuel. Remember, it's like fuel to a car, right? Okay. It's trying to make its journey. It's trying to get from A to B. It's trying to get from your house to fucking Tesco's Extra because it needs some fucking Kingskins Rizzlers for the lads coming round, all right? That's what it's after, right? That's what the market's after,
What are you talking
right?
about
It's
with
trying
all
to
that
get, it's trying to
rubbish?
get It's trying to get from your house. You've got the lads coming over, right? You've got a load of munchies in. You've got some
Didn't have
like
the DB.
proper decent high grade. I'm just thinking back to my teenage days. You got some like high grade, right? And it needs to get down to the fucking Esso garage to get some king skins, right? Because the boys are coming over. All right. It only needs a certain amount of fuel to get to Tesco to get to Esso. Are you with me on the analogy? Yeah. It only needs to get that fuel once. Dom's smiling. Dom's got the lads coming around later. He's fucking
Mate, I had to
looking at
get
all his
that
squashies everywhere.
up.
Like if you say so, if you say so.
Right. So, oh yeah,
I'm from North Carolina, check.
you don't
I
know
have
any of
no
these
clue
terms,
what you
right? Okay.
just said.
Let me rephrase it. Okay. Right. He's got to
No,
get
I got
to.
you. I
No,
got you. I
no. I'm gonna
understand.
do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm
It's
gonna
just
do it. Right.
funny.
So,
Carry
right.
on.
So he's got to get from your yard, right, in his truck, and he's got to get to 911. Is that what? Is that good?
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. He's got to
Yeah.
get to a 7-Eleven because he needs some blunt skins because the boys are coming around to smoke a bowl. Was that good?
I love it.
That was decent, wasn't it? Right?
I
Okay.
love it. You did great.
Yes. Right. He only needs so much fuel to get there. Okay. So they only need to grab that fuel once. So when you wake up in the morning, right, and you see liquidity, 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 and then it's starting to break down, Asia very clearly, okay, the time before we've already injected that liquidity, so it's taken the liquidity already. Okay, Asia doesn't need any liquidity, and it started breaking down. Okay, started breaking down. We don't need to come retest it. You'll often have this on a Thursday where it'll just fucking drop. Now, what we had then from Thursday onwards is we had all of the NFP noise. Okay, so Thursday onwards, we've grabbed a load of liquidity, we've taken a load of sell side liquidity. So now we just kind of range in. There's a couple of buy positions here potentially. Excuse me. If you got into maybe one or two of them, you might have been all right, but not great positions, admittedly. The big move was here. Again, not a huge amount of opportunity to get into it. You've got your liquidity being built up there. You have got liquidity being built up there. Asia has created liquidity once again, as you can see. By the way, with this liquidity, by the way, with Asia, Asia is still building up liquidity here. Okay. We just haven't taken any liquidity from Asia. So the concept is still the same. Asia either creates liquidity or it takes liquidity. It's still created liquidity, but then London, so the if Asia takes liquidity, then it's done London's job. That's kind of the principle of it, okay? If Asia creates liquidity, then we're expecting London to take that liquidity or New York potentially, okay? We have a build up here. We love these channels. Remember these little kind of build up channels when we're in bearish market conditions. Those who have seen the original Strong Money Forex course, you'll know this is a BCR entry, build up continuation range. Build up continuation range. This has just created liquidity on both sides of the marketplace. It's swept liquidity, and then NFP has come in. It's just fucking plummeted. Unfortunately, on this pair, unless you were already in a trade, like maybe you'd caught one of these shorts that like I was in on Euro USD, you had no opportunity to get into that.
Yes,
Okay.
mate, I was if you go on 4 hour, draw your 4 hour range to see if I've done mine right. Thing up, mate, with me is like where you get in your positions really quickly. I'm a bit crap at that because I like wait for a pullback. So like I
Mhm.
did hit 50% then. I'll have to send you mine. I can't remember where I done my range from, but I was waiting for it to come back to like 50%. But I think I may have been a bit fucking greedy and wanted it to go higher and never.
Potentially, yeah,
Well,
potentially. Again, what's our rule of thumb? If we're looking for, so look, we've very clearly got a bearish marketplace. Okay.
Yeah, hit EPA though.
Say again.
EPA.
Yeah, exactly, right. There's two areas we need price to come back into before we can start considering shorts. And this is the reason why I don't really like trading against momentum, is because there's very little room for you to get in. If you're looking at a tight range like this, let's go down to the 1 minute chart. If you're looking at the tight range like that, if you'd caught the perfect fucking wick entry, you've still only got like 1.5 before you've come into equilibrium. Okay. So equilibrium is the first area we can expect to see price reverse from if the market is moving particularly fast. The other one, as Jason has correctly said, is EPA. That's one of these moments where, for those of you who don't know EPA,
I
that's
had
one
that
of those
marked up as
moments.
well. That's why I'm a fucking idiot, mate. But
Okay, where you look at that and you're like, right, why has the market moved down from here? You would be looking at that before you knew the concept of the EPA. You'd be looking at that and you fucking scratching your head. This is why the ICT traders think fucking imbalances work, because they see shit like that and be like, oh, it's fucking tagged off an imbalance. It's got nothing to do with the imbalance. Think about the liquidity grading, right? Imbalances are like 10, 20, 30% of the liquidity that we need to cause a reversal. The reason why price is reversed is it won't be nothing to do with the, sorry, double negative, hate them. It's not, the imbalance has had an impact on price moving. I got there in the end, okay? But what has been the big contributing factor is that this range is now balanced. The institutions have now settled their buy orders that were placed in here and are in negative equity when they sold the shit out of the fucking marketplace. Now they brought the price back up, which is what caused all this fucking choppiness because everyone's trying to sell the shit out of it and it's just chopping, chopping, chopping. Then we get back up there, boom, we rebalance, they close their buy orders, and it fucking causes that drop. That's what that speed, that reaction is from. Okay. So yeah, there's not much opportunity. If you were trading Thursday, Friday on GU, I'm not surprised that you had a difficult time, Dom. I'll be honest. It was a difficult piece of price action. The only valid trade that I actually see is this short here from Thursday. You'd have had to hold it overnight and you'd been at risk leaving it through NFP because whilst that played out really nicely, what could have also happened could have been that. Okay. And what you don't
Check
understand,
it. Even with that, spread probably would have tapped you out. You know how NFP is.
I
That
actually
spread
stayed,
jumped
I was in on my,
quick,
I stayed in on my EU trade.
and it didn't stop you out.
No, I'll show you.
you got a raw account, or do you? Because I know the raw account's quite good because it's like 0.1 spread, isn't it? It's
No, I
like,
used, I used top one trader,
oh, yeah.
FTMO, CTI, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but I stayed in somehow. So
But
yeah,
I'm an
look,
idiot anyway because I was saying to myself Thursday and Friday, I was like, I knew it was, is it NFE or whatever? I was like,
NFP,
it's consolidating, it's going to create traps to trap people. Yeah, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But I've written it all down in my journal anyway, so
The
it's fine.
problem, the problem is with NFP. The problem is with NFP, and it's similar to the FTMO news, right? When they do the FTMO, when Powell speaks. Problem with NFP is whatever the forecast is, and this is actually not just NFP with all news. Whatever is forecasted in the news, that's already factored into the market. Okay, so NFP forecast was like 165, so they forecasted 165,000 new jobs in the US. Okay, the actual was 266. 100,000 more jobs were created. Now, when we've had obviously Powell talking about the fact that they're not going to impose as many rate cuts, interest rates are looking good, inflations are looking good, the US economy is really fucking strong. Like Danny and all his mates have got cash at the moment. There's new jobs being created, okay, and they're spending money, okay, which is why the US economy is strong. On top of that, We've then had 100,000 more jobs created on in according to the stats. And I think the average wages were about the same. Okay, they came in as forecasted. So what that tells us is that the US economy is stronger than what was forecasted, which is why the dollar fucking shot up. Okay, which is great for us because those sort of predictions they bolster our trades because we were already short on GU, we were already short on EU, and we were already long on UCHF and UJ and all those other trades. Right? We already had that bias, and this is where those rare moments where your fundamentals are lining up with your technicals. It's just a really, really important thing to get a good grasp of. Like I said to you, I'm no expert. I'm no expert. I'm just teaching myself more and more and more every day. I'm doing exactly what I did when I taught myself how to trade. I'm just spending time listening to videos, fucking researching, typing into ChatGPT, reading FX Street, reading Investopedia, and I'm just fucking immersing myself in the environment. And I will know I will eventually become a really fucking clued up fundamentals analyst because I will just work harder than everyone else until I've got that knowledge. That's always been my mindset. And it's one of those skills that now I'm seeing it. So for me, for example, I added two extra positions on Euro USD. When I saw that news, I fucking jumped in two extra positions. Fuck it. I was like, fuck it, I'm going. Just fucking put them in. Massive stops, but I obviously risk profile at 1% because I knew the market was going to come down based upon that news. It was already coming down, and then the news was like, go down further. It's like, yes, please. And we made like fucking 4% on Friday. 4% on one trade. Fucking amazing. I love it. All right. And that's why I would always I'm advising you guys to just do like I'm no expert on fundamentals, which is why I'm not teaching you fundamentals. I'm just sharing my knowledge, okay? But I would advise you guys to do the same because it can just really help with your trades. And this market's going to drop further. Monday, you're gonna see this. This is not coming back up. This is going down. It's going to go down and down and down and down and down. Okay, it's going to keep going, keep going, keep going. Danny will know this. What does Monday normally do, Danny? You'll remember this from old times.
Yeah, Monday will create the wick.
Monday will.
Monday will create the
That's
yeah.
it.
Monday will do the retracement, create the wick of the daily candle, and
That's
then
it. It's just
Tuesday,
gonna
Wednesday, Tuesday,
little
Wednesday,
pullback,
Thursday,
little
then
pullback, but
it'll
it's
make the body.
generally gonna follow that direction of Friday. That's what it's gonna do. It's just gonna keep
Yeah.
dropping. Look at that close on the 4 hour. That is not a hesitant close, right? That's not a close that looks like it's gonna pull back up. Is that range imbalanced? Oh, sorry, inefficient? Yeah, a little bit. There's a little bit of a gap there. Don't give a fuck about that. It's just going. See you later. We're going to get down. I promise you now, the DXY early next week, the dollar is going to be at 110. It's going to be at 110. 100%. 100%. Possibly by Monday. 110. And then we're going to have some hesitation because 110 is a really big psychological figure. Okay. Similar to when we passed 100. Look at 100. Look at how price is kind of stalled at 100. Okay. Look at how many times it's come down to 100. Psychological figures will often cause big reactions. 110 is the next big psychological figure. Okay. That's going to cause a reaction. But until then, if you get a good setup on Monday, fucking get in. Just get in and just fucking jump on it. Anyway, I'm getting too excited. I love it when markets are like this. I love it when trading is easy because I spent so long with it being so hard. Anyway, I got myself all excited. Any questions?
No, I'm pretty I just gotta keep practicing, mate. I'll get that. Like
Mate, you
I think
don't
I
need
was
to
just
be.
fucking so annoyed because I had the two trades that worked out, I just missed, and then I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
you should never chase the market in it. So
You FOMO traded. And it's
yeah,
perfectly normal. This is why those trading plans need to be there. This is why those rules need to be there. This is why your checklists need to be in place because you need
yeah.
to be sitting there ticking off your check every single trade. If you ticked off your checklist, you probably wouldn't have taken those trades.
No, I don't think. Yeah, because I was fucking counter trend anyway. I wasn't meant. Yeah, because I wasn't trading. I wasn't trading that fucking trade anyway, and I did. So that
Yeah,
was my fault.
yeah. All right, don't stress about it. It's one of those things that happens. Happens to the best of us, mate. I've done it fucking a million times. Million times. Don't worry about it. Just fucking learn from it. Journal about it. Put it in your
And the
journal.
other ones, I'm not going to predict the fucking. Because I was predicting like end of play in it. So I seen the power of three. And then I tried to, and obviously you react, you don't predict, do you?
Right,
So
and that's the thing, right? I've had this conversation a few times this week, okay? Every single person here, including me, you need to remember you are a fucking terrible trader. You are a shit. If you look back at your statistics for the past 2, 3 years, however many years you've been trading, historically, you need to remind yourself you're shit at trading because your statistics for the last 2, 3, 4 years have shown you that more often than not, you lose more money than you make. You've got to remind yourself you're not a good speculator, you're not a good analyst, you're not good at predicting the marketplace. How many times have you sat there and been like, oh, this looks like it might happen, and then been wrong? Just remind yourself you are not a very good trading forecaster generally. Myself, if I look back at my 10 years of trading, I've lost more money, or sorry, lost more times than I have won. Okay. I've covered my losses now and then some. Okay. Because I now have the capital to do so. But in terms of how many trades I've won and how many trades I've lost, I have 100% lost more trades than I've won because I spent 6 years fucking losing. And so I had to remind myself constantly, you are shit at analyzing the market. No, sorry, not analyzing. You are shit at forecasting the market. You are generally terrible at predicting where the market goes. When you think to yourself, oh, this looks like it's going to do that, you are normally wrong.
the
Okay?
opposite, innit?
Your job is not to speculate. Your job is to analyze and react. That's what you've got to do. You need to predict where the market goes, so forecast where the market goes, okay, where you think it might go, but you don't make a single move until it shows you it's doing that. And when it shows you it's doing that forecast, you can take a trade. That's when you're allowed to. But until it does, so for example, trading like that, not a chance. Trading like that all day long. That is shit because you're in an uptrend. Okay, that fine, no problem with that at all because you're in very clearly bearish market conditions, and in fact that one's even better. Okay, so your job isn't to predict the market, your job isn't to expect the market to do something, your job is to react to the market doing the thing that you're expecting it to do. Okay, and until it does the thing, you just don't do it. Simple as that. All right, and that's a really, really powerful just switch in mindset. Right, that's taken us nicely to 6:30. So thank you guys. I enjoy these sessions. I hope you enjoy them too. We'll do another one tomorrow. We'll do probably EU tomorrow, maybe USD CHF because we did that on Friday. As always, they're being recorded. If you need me, you've got questions. And yeah, I'll catch you all soon.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Awesome.
guys.
Thanks,
Catch you
Chad.
later,
Good seeing
boys.
y'all.
Bye 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 bye.